Welcome to another project on Building Wisconsin. I'm Stuart Keith, and we're out at a major remodeling project centered around radiant in-floor heating. But before we get behind the scenes, let's catch up with the architect to see how a project like this comes together. So this looks like this is the entire first floor of this house?
The entire first floor, and it started off with mostly a kitchen remodel and family, and it's evolved into the entire house.
Sure, we kind of chuckle about that. I'm sure a lot of your projects start out as something small, but then once the homeowners get talking, you realize their wants, needs, and desires, and it's much bigger.
Absolutely. And with this project in particular, one of the things he was really disappointed with was the heating system. He didn't like how the four-stair system was working. They had hot spots, cold spots. So we sat down with DeBelak Plumbing Htg to really analyze how we can lay this out and give the client what they want. In-floor heat was one of the things that was a huge goal that the client wanted to have. Really liked the radiant heating system.
Sure, if you've ever experienced it, it's second to none. It's the most comfortable out there.
It's the way to go if you can afford it, for sure. And then the other thing with this space, before there was a big fireplace here and an entertainment and no windows. And it was dark. And when they bought the home, they bought it on a cloudy day like today. And they thought, oh, well, when it's sunny, it'll be bright. And it wasn't, because it faces northwest. So it never was bright. And the architecture that we live in makes us feel how we feel.
The good news is you can come in, help the homeowners ultimately get what they want, and have it done professionally by highly skilled tradespeople that all come together in a project like this.
What I try and work on is creating a team for each project that is client-specific and project-specific. So I get my carpenters, my plumbers, my electricians, the right guys that I think are going to work well with the client and fit their goals.
Well, you know, I've had an opportunity to visit several new construction and remodeling projects, and the successful one, the key to those is communication, and not just amongst the subs, but also the owner or the homeowner, as in this instance.
We try to introduce the homeowner to all these guys on a first-name basis. They get to know them, and my goal, I try and view myself as the quarterback. I'm not a general, even though I guess I really am. It's really more, these are my teammates, and they're all specialists at what they do, and I want to know what they think. And then even on top of that, when we started laying things out in the field, because, you know, there's microlams and structure in the way, oh, we can't do ducting how we thought, so we'll do it like this. The homeowner's like, I don't like that. I want it a little differently. And so DeBelak said, all right, let's see if we can figure out a way. And we did. And we had to modify a few things, but modestly. And now we're able to give the homeowner exactly what they want.
Well, just that philosophy breeds a better work environment. I know, talking to the homeowner, she was amazed at the professionalism, but the lightheartedness of all of them. They all seemed like they knew each other, even though they owned different businesses.
All my clients I think they really enjoy the process, because this can be overwhelming. It is overwhelming. Even if it's just a small bathroom or kitchen remodel, it can be a lot for someone. And you know, this is a whole house, and just all the decisions that need to be made along the way, these guys hold their hand really nice, and it's a good process.
Well, there's no substitute for experience, and obviously you have lots of experience, not only in designing and creating the beautiful end result, but putting the team together that makes it possible. I appreciate you coming on and introducing it to us. Right now I want to go catch up and get behind the scenes and learn more about this radiant in-floor heat.
Sounds fantastic.
Wow, this is an impressive looking radiant floor system.
Thank you.
So before we get into how this actually operates and what was involved in the installation, let's just step back, quickly explain to the viewer how a radiant system operates, really the theory behind it.
Oh, the theory behind it is actually we have a heating source. Here it's a boiler, and we're heating up water and putting it into the house through the floors to make a radiant substrate, a radiant floor. that your body's going to absorb.
So that's different from a forced air system where
totally
it's warm
different.
air.
Yes, forced air system actually exchanges air. It actually draws air out of the room, heats it, and then brings it back in, which some say can be draft air and things like that. This will actually heat the whole room and actually even warm your furniture to a point and things of that nature, so you just have an overall better comfort.
Sure, and if anybody's ever experienced, I know I have it in my house, I've talked to lots of people, I mean, really, it is second to none, the comfort that you get from a properly installed radiant floor system.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so let's take it from here. What are we looking at and how does it operate?
Well, we have a boiler again to heat the water. What we have right here is we have our different zones and our different manifolds, because this home has different zones in the house that we can set at different temperatures. I have pumps and manifolds to actually move the water through our PEX tubing to our Rahal underfloor panels to heat those floors and heat those rooms individually if we like.
Okay, so this is really considered a manifold, and as I look here, master bedroom, office, foyer, dining room, second floor bedrooms, there's all kinds of different zones here.
Yes.
I assume that within each of those zones, there's a thermostatic controller there, maybe just a typical thermostat that the homeowner or occupant just, either increases or decreases to get
we could use just a standard thermostat, but we like to go one step further. We use a Techmark controller that actually monitors the temperature of the floor itself, the actual slab, and also monitors the air temperature. So between the two, we can hold the floor at, say, 70 degrees, even though the room's only at 68, just so you can have comfort that way.
And I suppose whether you have tile floor, carpet, wood floor, you have to have that set at certain temperatures?
Well, not necessarily certain temperatures, but definitely different temperatures. As the system is done and as the home gets completed, we go and we fine-tune for each individual floor surface and get it dialed into what's going to be ultimately most comfortable.
So in the office, foyer, dining room, there's 3 different rooms on this particular zone. You could actually micro-control that so that there's different temperatures flowing throughout the zone, even though it's on one controller?
Yeah, I can actually say one room's got a lot of sun that comes in during the day, and so it always seems to be a little bit warmer. I can actually slow the flow down for that one specific room so I can make an even heat throughout that whole zone.
This is pretty incredible technology here, really intense. How do you learn how to install these systems?
Well, through our own union, Local 75, we get training courses, and if I have to go to a new job, something I'm unfamiliar with, there's always some expert there that I can count on to brush up on the stuff that I need to brush up on.
Really comes back to that team approach.
Oh, absolutely.
Even with your training, you can never stop learning. That's my
Never
motto.
stop learning.
Well, I'm sure the homeowners are going to be elated with their choice in in-floor radiant heating. Appreciate you coming on, showing us the system.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
Building Wisconsin is made possible by the members of Plumbers 75, proudly serving their contractors and helping build Wisconsin for over 100 years.
We all know the most basic form of life requires clean water to survive. On Earth, we need it to drink, cook, clean, and it touches just about every part of our quality of life. Here in Wisconsin, we appreciate the value of clean water even more as we live alongside the Great Lakes. Yet we often forget to think about how water gets to our homes, schools, and businesses, and then safely back to Mother Nature. Where does all the dirty water go? How is it fresh and clean every time we get a glass of water? Who makes this happen? The answer, plumbers. It's the plumbers who are trained, mentored on the job, and have progressed through a 5-year education program that takes them from apprenticeship to a master of their trade. It's plumbers who are committed to a career and have been trained to protect the health and safety of our water system and make sure you never have to think about where it comes from and where it's going. Yes, we're fortunate here in Wisconsin to have an abundant supply of clean, fresh water. But even more fortunate to have a highly trained and committed workforce to keep and deliver it that way.
Plumbers 75, supporting the plumbing trade in southeast Wisconsin for over 100 years. For more than 70 years, Joe DeBelak Plumbing and Heating has specialized in the systems that play a major role in comfort and convenience. At home, at work, at school, or out on the town, no job is too big or too small. With 35 well-equipped trucks on the road and a crew of 50 experienced field technicians, Joe DeBelak prides itself on customer satisfaction. Whether it's a homeowner with a leaking faucet or a large design-build project, Joe DeBelak Plumbing and Heating and Plumbers 75. Proud to be building Wisconsin. For more information on Building Wisconsin, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and be sure to watch additional episodes on YouTube or at our website, buildingwisconsintv.com.
Welcome back to Building Wisconsin. We're out at a home remodeling project near Mequon where the whole house is being completely remodeled. Now let's catch up with Plumbers 75 member Jason Brown to learn about some of the plumbing going into this job. What are you working on, Jason?
I'm just tightening this cap, getting ready for plumbing inspection.
Well, we've been walking through this major remodeling project and it's just awesome. What are the homeowners planning for down here?
Well, they wanted to add a bathroom to their basement. So to do that, we have to locate a sewer. And we located a 3-inch sewer over here. And we tied onto that and added on. This is our test connection. Okay. This goes to a 3-inch stack that serves the first floor bathroom. This 3-inch Y picks up the floor drain for the condensate for the heating unit. This Y picks up the lavatory. This 45 goes over to the toilet. And then we've got another drain that comes over here for a future shower in case the homeowner ever would like one.
Are these projects becoming more common? Is it really a trend, adding lower level living space, especially a lower level bathroom?
They're becoming very popular. People are using their basements not for storage anymore. They're using them for entertainment. They're using them for living quarters.
Sure, and if you're down here entertaining, the last thing you want to do is send somebody upstairs to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Boy, there's an awful lot going on here. I just, when I first looked at it, saw that you jackhammered out just a few holes, put in some pipes, but there's really a method to what's going on here. It just tells me that there must be a lot of training that goes into even something that appears on the surface to be relatively simple.
Plumbers Local 75 really pushes training. We spend quite a bit of time doing continuing education. After your apprenticeship is complete, they offer a lot of different classes focusing on products, materials, and different techniques. The code changes routinely. Every year there's code changes, and without the education that the union provides us, you're just not going to stay up with the times.
You know, what is your story? I mean, you're a young guy, a plumber. What led you to a career in plumbing?
Well, my dad was a plumber. I started off with a non-union shop I was with for 2 years, and then I had the fortune of coming to the union in 2003, and I've been with the union ever since, and been with Local 75 ever since then.
Sounds like you're pretty happy with your career choice.
Very happy.
You know, you wouldn't think of plumbing as being cutting edge, at least a lot of people out there wouldn't, but whether you're looking at an addition like this, or as we saw with D with the radiant in-floor heating, all the manifolds, there's a lot of technology that goes into it, and what I'm getting out of you is that continuing education, no matter what's on the horizon, is always going to be there for an organized plumber.
Things are constantly changing.
Well, you know, the homeowners are going to be just elated with this whole project, and I know they're not going to regret adding a lower level lav and shower and sink and everything for their entertaining.
Nobody ever is.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and walking us through it.
Thank you, sir.